Hey, howdy everyone, Locity here, back in action for more Weird David Attraction. What is with this music? I don't know. But fam, we are trying to figure out what exactly happened around here. And it seems like we have to solve another one of Shlom's deductions, you know? With your silence as well, the fellow's juvenile rambling rather rings in the ear, does it not? Uh, Mr. Schloms? I must say something does rather trouble me. Pray, Mrs. Sato, do tell. His Royal Highness doesn't appear to have moved a muscle since we arrived. Ah! And you haven't said a word either, Iris. If Mr. Shlomus has it all right, you might as well own up to it now. Your reasoning isn't entirely about substance, I must admit. And one other thing, Mr. Slomes? Yet another grievance, Mr. Naruto? Surely not. Well, I actually read the story of that case recently. The one you were just describing. And according to that, at least, it wasn't the king of Germany. It was the king of Bohemia. Bohemia. Goodness. Was it? Yes, that's quite true. Master Gotts, the prince, testified to that in court. And in his words, I come to see the great exposition all the way from my home in Bohemia. I would ask you to keep that minor error to yourselves. It could easily become quite a scandal. I believe, Mr. Naruto, that it's our turn now to make some corrections to a number of minor errors that may have slipped in. Yes, even Mr. Slums is willing to admit he might be slightly wide of the mark this time. Although it's clear that Iris is definitely hiding something. We need to find out the truth behind this mysterious scene. One truth is incontrovertible. My favorite coffee cup is no more. So, shall we embark again? On a joint presentation of Herlock Shlom's Logic and Reasoning Spectacular? Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Shloms. The King of Germany. Firstly, we consider the gentleman's nationality. Clearly, he is a German with no grasp of the English language, as evidenced by the dramatic song he sings, and his apparently inability to understand when asked to desist. So why is the man here at all? In such apparently high spirits? The answer, of course, Iris, is clearly known to you. Indeed, we need only follow the gaze of those bright young eyes to unveil that particular part of this mystery. The reason for the man's mildly irritably rambling is revealed by that herbal tea. So what? It's some mix of herbs that give you the urge to sing? Goodness, I should like to try some. And I like to hear you sing it. You're singing, but this man? Just how long does he intend to keep up that tune, do you suppose? As I said, he's been stock still the entire time. If you look closely, his lips aren't moving either. Ah. So I'm not sure what's actually responsible for the spirited singing, but I suspect the answer lies at the end of Iris's gaze. So, can I please... Oh, there we go. Wait, this is a gramophone. Still rarely seen in our own country. The sound certainly appears to be coming from the horn. But the machine's singing! That can't be right! Science and technology are changing the world rapidly, Mr. Naruto. What's right is changing too. It's too much for my brain. Well, at least we found our answer. Okay. So it's the gramophone. Well, bam! The reason for the man's mildly irritating rambling is revealed by the gramophone. Indeed, for no well-bred gentleman would break into an obscure folk song when making a social call. In other words, this gentleman isn't singing at all. In fact, it would appear that the fellow is unconscious. The music seems to have stopped now. I ask you, Mr. Naruto. Yes? Why would I have purchased a recording of that gibberish? Should I know? Well, never mind. On with the deduction. Who exactly is this gentleman availing himself so thoroughly of the set? As it happens, a number of years ago now, a certain gentleman of German origin engaged my services in solving a particularly delicate case. He required the retrieval of letters once sent to an acquaintance that might have proved problematic. In order to conceal his noble identity, he also arrived at my office in a mask. The gentleman's name was William Goschrick Zygmunt von Ormenstein, the King of Germany. If my memory serves, the mask worn by this gentleman is identical. Yes, there can be no question. That mask belongs to the King of Germany. Although we've already established that it was actually the King of Bohemia, it seems Mr. Slums intends to persist with his German theory for some reason. Come to think of it, the young prince was wearing a mask as well, wasn't he? Master Coates? The boy whom you had in tears? Don't remind me, or anyone else. You suppose all members of the aristocracy of mainland Europe wear masks? I'm sure they do. Well, probably anyway. The point is, that mask doesn't belong to any king. No, that's right, as we well know. Because we can identify the true owner of this mask. Yeah, it's gots to be him.
Take that!
Who? Ah! I just thought this might be the mask's true owner, but not as far as I'm aware. Now remind me, who are you again? Sorry? I do my best to forget those who are spectacularly hamper my logic and reasoning. Make your exit, please. Leave the deduction a limelight to those who deserve it, Mr. Naruto. I thought you'd forgotten my name. Okay. So, they're asking who the mask belongs to. We of all people should know that mask. That's right, after all, it's been here on the coffee table for some time now. Although, how it came to be there, I really don't know, actually. Let's not worry about the little details for now. The point is, we ought to be able to clear up the matter of who owns the mask very easily. So, if it is not him, that means it is to him. Present.
Take that!
Yes, there can be no question. The mask belongs to Kazuma Osagi. In other words, my memory is sublimely unreliable. only you could try to make that sound positive. Cosmo's mass has been languishing on this metal chest for several days. Though that doesn't explain why the gentleman is wearing it now. But it is now a simple matter to determine our guest's true identity. After all, the gentleman is unconscious. We need only excuse ourselves in advance, gently lift the mask, and peer beneath it. I don't believe it. Ah! Father! I'm afraid, Mrs. Sato, you must be No, I think not, Mr. Slums. Then it would appear our logic and reasoning has once again revealed the truth. This mysterious visitor is my unconscious father, Yuji Mikotoba. I love how she does it. Logic and reasoning? We're just looking and saying. He's so fucking pissed. Like, bro, this could have been an email. Topic 2, the girl's silence. To hide the coffee cup, huh? Which leaves us with one remaining in ponderment. Yes, you, young Iris. But your apparently inexplicably silence is unable to hide the truth. Yes, the reason for your muteness is concealed inside that knapsack. So that's a 5-pound note poking out from Iris's knapsack, is it? Oh dear, I can't be sure. Most money that we encounter is in coin form. I know. I'm not even sure we've seen any banknotes here in Britain at all, have we? But anyway, Father would never have paid money for Iris' silence. It certainly seems like the silent type himself, though, judging by his present state. Must be some other reason for Iris' silence, I suppose. That's what Iris is trying so hard not to give away with her eyes. Something entirely different. Oh? What is this? So that's nothing. Is there something over here? I'm not particularly seeing it. The reason for her muteness. It only lets me go this far in. Huh? What? Why is it open? It's open! This metal chest, it contains important documents, doesn't it? Yes, details of all the cases Mr. Shlom has worked on over the years. Written up by Iris' father, if I remember correctly. Iris insists that the chest is kept locked at all times. She's never once shown me inside. Well, its contents are invaluable to her, I suppose. Entirely irreplaceable. But look at it now. The catch is unlocked for once. Ah, so it is. That's hard to ignore. Barry, I never seen the chest unlocked before, in all the time I have been staying here at Baker Street. Yep. So that's it.
Take that!
Yes, the reason for your muteness is concealed inside that metal chest. An excellent observation. For upon closer inspection, there is something different about the chest's appearance. It's kept locked at all times, yet now, the catch is open. Evidently, this has something to do with your refusal to speak, Iris. But it's simply enough matter to incite you to speak, I'm sure. I merely need to open this chest. Here we go. No! Hurley, don't! Mr. Slomes? Hurley! He's dead? Never. Oh, Hurley. Told you not to open it. Ah. So you found your voice now, Iris. Ah! In other words, what just happened clearly reveals the truth here. Yes, the real reason for your silence until now is clear. This is somewhat different than the usual dance of deduction you perform with Mr. Slomes, isn't it? Well, he's left me alone on the ballroom floor, so I'm gonna have to dance this next part solo. Anyway, I need to get to the bottom of this, for my own peace of mind. Now then, this isn't usually the silent type, so... You mean you don't actually know the answer yet, despite, that knowing point of the finger before? Miss Susato, sometimes a man needs to point his finger first and think later. Oh, well, if you say so. I think we're better off examining Iris more closely and try to rescue the situation then. Oh. Let me... Oh, yeah, right there. There's the key. That's a key she's holding. Look. Sure that wasn't in her hands before, was it? No, you're quite right. It's appeared as if by magic. Strange. Big old iron key. Where did it materialize from? A fountain. Yes, the real reason for your silence until now is the key behind your back. Ah! When Mr. Slomes was thrown into the air before. Just before you called out to try to stop him, he slipped something out of your mouth. That something is the key now in your hands. No doubt the key into the chest. You're so clever, Runo. So now it becomes clear. Thanks to Mr. Slome's graphic demonstration, we can well imagine what happened here. But Professor Mikotoba also opened the metal chest, only to be punched into the air and land sprawled on the settee. But wait, that doesn't explain all the facts. What about the stylish scarf? And the cup of tea? And above all, why would he be wearing Kazuma-sama's mask? Well, for those curious details, I can think of only one explanation. Clearly an unbelievable miracle took place in this room. Isn't that right, Iris? Considering how the room was arranged before this whole painful experience took place. Well, Professor Mikotoba opened the chest and completely unaware of what awaited him inside. The mask was flung into the air just as he was, only to land neatly on his face when it fell back down. And the teacup's journey through the air ended when it caught onto the unconscious professor's fingers. You mean to say that stylish scarf was actually just a tablecloth? This is the great detective's office, after all, a place of miraculous deductions. Would you expect anything less? Yes, you're right. It happened exactly as you said. Brilliant, Runo. Thus concludes Renosuke's Naruto's great deduction of this punchy puzzle. Well, I'm glad he got to do it solo. So then, why don't I make a fresh pot of tea for us all?
Objection!
An admirable performance, Mr. Nardo. But the final act of the show there, you rather miss everything of importance. Mr. Sloanes? You would cast your mind back to my earlier deduction. Iris, clearly you're hiding a great secret. She is? The look on her face. Mr. Sloanes must be right. Whatever that great secret is, cat isn't out of the bag yet. So I put it to you again. You were attempting to abscond with that coffee cup. It really is a shame about Mr. Schlump's cup. It must have been smashed when Professor Mikotoba opened the chest. Oh dear, so many things seem to have been broken here. But now the deduction has taken a different direction. Iris doesn't seem to be trying to hide the broken cup anymore. In other words, her great secret is something else. Let's put our observation skills to work here one final time then. What is she hiding? Oh, whoa! Oh, look! There! There seems to be more paper there. Is Iris trying to hide them underneath the tray? The insignia, Mr. Naruto! It's an official Scotland Yard document. What? But why would Iris have it? We must ask her. An official Scotland Yard document. Yo. Why do you have that? You were attempting to abscond with that case file. Iris, as you know very well, nothing escapes the attention of a great detective. Oh no. We visited Scotland Yard's autopsy laboratory earlier today. And Dr. Gorey informed us that the autopsy report of Clint von Zeeks had gone missing. Clint von Zeeks? Yes, I do seem to recall that some years ago I asked to see the report in question. You were with me, weren't you, Iris? You mean it was you, Iris? So those papers you have there are... Sorry. Forgive me. Oh, baby. Oh, no. Elementary. In truth, I would like to have thought I could have predicted the booby-trapped chest. But it caught me completely off guard. It was very nearly the late consulting detective Herlock Sholmes. I'm sorry, Hurley. So you mean this autopsy report really is... Yes, I took it from the lab, even though I knew it was very important. Was there something in that troubled you, Iris? Not exactly something that troubled me. Something I've been looking for. When I saw this report, when I saw the writing in it, I knew it was Daddy's. The writing? Your father's writing? What do you really mean? Iris? Must be something that's hard for her to talk about. Forgive me for interrupting, my dear fellows. Mr. Slomes? What is it? I feel as though the poor unconscious gentleman on the settee has been somewhat forgotten. Ah! Father! Perhaps we should find our guest somewhere more peaceful to rest. Mr. Nardo? Yes? Would you be so kind as to lend him your bed? You must do our very best to make him comfortable, I feel. Oh, yes, of course. I'll be carrying him up. So will I. No, I can manage alone, thank you. You have tea to enjoy. We wouldn't want Iris's brew to stew. Because there's no better way to make the professor comfortable than dragging him upstairs like a trunk. I wonder, perhaps that was deliberate. Maybe Mr. Slomes is making himself scarce to give Iris a chance to talk more freely. We must use this opportunity to talk with Iris and find out what's going on. Okay, sweet girl, what are you doing? Would you like to tell us about it, Iris? About your father? I'm sure I told you before, didn't I? That Daddy used to be Hurley's partner? Yes, and that notes about all the cases they solved together are kept inside that metal chest. That's right! Hurley told me, you see? He said that Daddy's somewhere far away now, so we can't meet. That's one way of describing it. Then when I secretly unlocked the chest and read through the papers inside, I started to build up a picture in my head of what Daddy must be like. Well, that's only natural. You're just like any other girl of your age. I read that Daddy was a professor in medical science, so I studied and took my degree too. Well, that's only natural, I suppose. In that respect, you're not quite like any other girl of your age, though. But there was one thing that I could never find out. Daddy's name. His name wasn't anywhere on any of the notes that he'd made about his work with Hurley. But then one day... That's what happened? Is it? When you saw this autopsy report, you finally managed to work it out. Is that right? Yes. So it was the handwriting in the report that caught her eye. When I saw the writing on the report, I could hardly believe it. I know the handwriting. I thought to myself, it was the same as the writing you've seen on your father's case notes. Exactly. I was desperate to compare the two properly. I needed to see them side by side. I asked the doctor in the laboratory, but I was told I couldn't take the report away. And even worse, I was told that was the first and last time I'd be allowed even to look at it there. So you decided to steal it? When I compared the autopsy report with the case notes I had here, there was no doubt. The handwriting was exactly the same. It was Daddy's. The signature of the coroner at the bottom of the autopsy report. Read Dr. John H. Wilson. So that's how I finally found out. I learned Daddy's name at last. I see. Ever since then, I've called myself Iris Wilson. And that's also when I had the brilliant idea of writing stories all about Daddy's exciting times with Hurley. I decided there and then I'd write The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. Oh, Iris, I had no idea the stories had quite such a deep personal significance for you. can see why the autopsy report was so important to her now. Why she was prepared to break the law to get her hands on it. I must apologize, Iris. Hmm? This is really all my fault. Harley? I made a promise, you see, that until the time was right, I keep the details about your father a secret. I know. I'm very naughty. I'll take the autopsy report back to Dr. Gorey and apologize, I promise. Yes, we'll go together, I think. Then let me look after it for you until you get there. Okay. I must go and water my herbs, I think. See you all later. Poor Iris. You must be feeling awful. I know Mr. Slomes is here for her, but still. Ah! How? What's the meaning of this, Mr. Slomes? Mr. Slomes? Oh, dear me. So, you've noticed. I see. But that would mean... What on earth's the matter, Miss Sato? Turn as white as a sheet. It's this autopsy report, Mr. Naruto. The one from 10 years ago. The writing isn't Dr. Wilson's at all. Huh? What do you mean? How could you possibly know that? Because I know this handwriting very well. This writing, it's my father's. What? Professor Mikatoba's? Indeed. It's true. And now you know, my dear fellows. No! I don't know anything! What on earth does this all mean, Mr. Slomes? It's the idea that's slowly forming in my mind. It's just too extraordinary to believe. Please, you have to explain. What? So, this autopsy report was actually penned by Professor Mikatoba? That makes no sense. It's not possible. Surely. Not possible, my dear fellow. Pray, take a deep breath and think again. Yes, you're right. In some ways, it actually makes a great deal of sense. It does? 10 years ago is when my father returned to Japan after his extended study tour in Britain. And prior to his return, where was Dr. Mikatoba engaged? Of course! He was assistant in Dr. Wilson's laboratory, learning about forensic science. And as an assistant, he would have aided with the dissection work, making detailed notes, which would be assembled into the full autopsy report. Once the work was complete, the head coroner would check the contents and put his signature on the document. In other words, the only writing of Dr. Wilson's in the report would be his signature at the end. I see. So Iris got the wrong end of the stick, you mean? You saw that and assumed the whole report had been written by Dr. John H. Wilson? Which is very understandable, of course. What a complicated situation. Huh. And your partner was Mikatoba? Thinking about it, Most of what we know about you, Mr. Slomes, comes from the published stories of your exploits. Yes, The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, written by Iris. We really had no way of knowing what's fact and what's fiction. Most troubling for you, my dear fellow. I'm sure. So what about the supposed partner of yours? Did he really exist or not? Ah, he comes straight to the point, I see. And please come straight to the answer. I believe Iris explained in one of her installments. You as a trusted comrade and the only person I could truly have called a friend. And did this partner of yours truly make a record of all your cases? Are his notes really stored inside that metal chest? Absolutely, my dear madame. Absolutely. So, where's your partner now? We rarely meet. You see, he lives on the other side of the world. But this autopsy report and the records of all your old cases were penned by the same hand. And if the autopsy report was written, though not signed, by your famous partner, there would only be one logical conclusion. Pray impress me. Your partner would have to be Yuji Mikotoba. In other words, Miss Sasato's father. On my word, Mr. Naruto. Yes? You are coming along wonderfully. You have hit upon the method at last. You finally grasped the art of deduction. You mean to say... Allow me to introduce you to my great friend and partner, Mikotoba. Professor Mikotoba? Okay, Shlomes of Mikotoba. Does this mean that you're the real Dr. Wilson? No, my dear. Still my old self, Yuji Mikotoba, your father. Oh, of course. This is obviously too much for Susato-san to take in. I must say, though, how my old friend has attained worldwide celebrity as a great mystery solver is the greatest mystery of all. I still remember the first time we met. Ah, pray remind me. When was it again, Mikotoba? 16 years ago, Shlomes. Ah, yes, quite. 16 years ago. I just arrived from Japan with Toshiro and Genshin. I was in search of lodging close to the hospital. Some comfortable rooms at a reasonable price. Rents were devilishly high in that particular area. That's right. So I decided I needed someone to share lodgings and the expense. Was fortunate enough to be introduced to Shlomes, who found himself in a similar situation. I was a callow fellow back then, a mere shadow of the great detective you see before you now. I was working at the hospital's chemical laboratory at the time, indulging my curiosities for little gain. The situation of your cohabitation led to us pursuing cases together, you see. Hard to believe, it was a mere 6 years. We had a great many ventures. But in the last year of Mikotoba's stay in Britain, that most famous of cases presented itself. The case with which we become rather familiar ourselves. The Professor killings. After that trial, Toshiro and I were summoned back home. Hardly surprising given the circumstances. So there you have it. And as you know, all the details recorded by my trusty chronologiker remain in that metal chest. This is just amazing. Professor Mikotopa really is Mr. Shlom's famous partner? Father. Goodness, my dear. What a cutting look. As your daughter, I'm very proud to learn that you were the Great Detective's great partner. But nevertheless, there's another mystery that I really must ask you to explain now. And that is? You know very well what it is. The unresolved matter of Iris's father. Ah! Of course, almost forgotten about that one. I should have seen this coming, I suppose. Iris's father. Iris told us that all the notes about the Great Detective's adventures that are in that metal chest were written by her father. Isn't that correct, Mr. Shlomes? That is indeed what I told young Iris. But if you're Mr. Shlomes' partner, father, and you wrote all those case notes, then Iris's father must be you. On my word, Mr. Sato. You are coming along wonderfully as well. You, too, have hit upon the method at last. Finally grasped the art of deduction. What? What you've always told me, Father, is that my mother died when I was born 16 years ago, and you left me in grandmother's care whilst you embarked on your study tour of Britain. I've always accepted that, but all this about Iris... Oh, there it is. Susato-san's ice-cold stare. No, hold on a minute. It was very complicated. I mean, it's really not what you think. Then perhaps you'd like to explain exactly what it is? There it is. Now the eyes from ice cold to red hot. Just before she... No, really, you've got the wrong end of the stick. Shlom, say something, man! That's quite enough, my fiery fellows. Mr. Shlomes? You dressed all up? Whilst I don't like to interrupt this exciting exploration of the past, Mikotopa and I have an urgent matter that requires a short excursion. But it's very late, Mr. Shlomes. Where must you go? Why, my dear madame, is that not obvious? My partner and I must pursue our natural enemies. So, get your coat, Mikotopa. The game is afoot. But Shlomes, I really must give Shisato a full explanation, I think. Later, my dear fellow, later. Our carriage awaits downstairs already. You haven't changed one iota, have you? I mean, really. I visit our home after 10 long years. And when I open that chest in a fit of nostalgia, I quite explicitly pass out. And as if that wasn't enough, when I eventually regained consciousness, I plunged straight into all this. Father, please, go with Mr. Shlomes now. What? I've no doubt that whatever happened, you were acting in everyone's best interests. I trust you, completely. Susato. And sending the Great Detective and his great partner off on a renewed adventures together is more than I could have hoped for in my wildest dreams. Very well then. We'll speak again later. So, I believe your own work is done for the day. I wish you the best of luck for tomorrow. Yes, Mr. Naruto. Good luck in battle, and in your reaching a decision. A decision? About whether I go back to Japan? I suppose...
So much happened that day that I barely knew what to do with myself. It would only be later that I'd come to realize how amidst the chaos I'd unleashed were all the clues I needed to finally unearth the truth, and that all the turmoil was necessary to give me the resolve to see everything through.
And well then, next time everybody, Case 5. Till then, thank you for watching. Sayonara. Bye bye. Mwah.